Oh, yeah. Welcome to Wrestling Uncensored. I am Dave Simon. He is Johnny North. We are here talking professional wrestling with you. And we are here, of course, on your radio. We are here on your podcasting device, be it iTunes, Google Play, anywhere you get your podcasts, and of course also on the YouTube channel.
Hey, yo, I better. All right, hey, it's Dave and Johnny live. Live. What's up, man? I'm Dave, he's Johnny. Hey, everybody.
Yes. What's up, everybody? We're watching Survivor Series. This is our Survivor Series watch along.
Oh.
And Daniel Bryan's wrestling the Fiend right now. Whoa.
How about that?
Hey. Smacking it. Smack. We're smacking it. Welcome to the Smacking It with Dave. We're smacking each other. Hit me again. Woo! All right. Almighty. Welcome to Dave and Johnny Live. I'm Dave, and he's Johnny.
And we're not quarantined yet, right? Or
No, this isn't the quarantine.
Who are we talking? We're talking about the Prime Minister, right?
Yeah, well, he's quarantined. The Prime Minister of the country's quarantined because his
rough.
wife has coronavirus.
Yeek.
I mean, good God almighty, this thing is taking over. Obviously, we're going to be talking about it here on the show. We're still doing a show. A lot of people stopped doing shows. A lot of people are running out of stuff to talk about, but there's still a bunch of stuff going on in professional wrestling because the pro wrestling world doesn't stop. At least it hasn't stopped.
Doesn't die. Wrestling goes on.
Somehow,
That's right.
wrestling has continued. We saw AEW this week. You know, they did a show on Wednesday night.
They'll do a show next week, too.
But Thursday was kind of when everything went down, right? Thursday was when everything hit the fan and everything kind of, the NBA found a player that had coronavirus, so they suspended the season. Tom Hanks.
Fred was on the ball with that.
Tom Hanks had coronavirus.
When Tom Hanks fell, that's when it all went to hell.
Man, once Tom Hanks gets coronavirus, you know shit's real.
When I used to be texting into you, the phone would fall over because you had it leaning against the cup or whatever,
And
Johnny would be
text.
like, "Someone keeps texting in." But you've come so far, like, and you really are. Like, I mean, I remember from back in the day listening, you've come just like you've really evolved. You know what I mean? You haven't just like you're like a mixed martial artist now. You started off with a bit of jiu-jitsu, and then you got added little bits to your bow, and you really are. It's like I'll never ever claim to be a knowledgeable person when it comes to wrestling. I like it. I love watching it, but I wouldn't know. I know probably a lot more about MMA than I would wrestling, but I just love it. I love it, the innocence of it. I love just how everyone else who loves it, they have the same kind of personality. Everyone kind of has that kind of. They haven't lost a bit of their childhood. I think that's important. If you love wrestling, you're keeping that little bit in there. You don't have to become boring just as you get older. You can still like a little bit of something like that. I think that's what everyone who just comment on this show does. I think that's what you guys have. I think it's a brilliant thing. But it's only going to get bigger.
AJ.
This is only going to get bigger. I know it is. Like this has come to the studio here.
Look at all that.
That was
Yeah.
cool.
What an intro.
Hey, that was a good intro, right?
Cheers.
Welcome, everybody.
Cheers, whoever made that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers.
We love it.
It's
We're
fantastic.
live. Yes, indeed. It's Wrestling Uncensored. Tonight, we preview AEW's WrestleDream. Dream. It's a WrestleDream, baby. Johnny North in the house, baby. Make him squeal like a pig. New Project X champion. Tell me again the name of the belt. It's got a gimmick name. Northern Heritage?
You got it correct. Northern Heritage Championship. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's correct.
The new Project X Northern Heritage champion, Genesis Johnny North. Buy his t-shirt at our merch shop, merch.ringsidereport.net. You see that cool Genesis t-shirt? You could wear the Project X champion t-shirt right now. Merch.ringsidereport.net. Get yourself a Genesis t-shirt. I've got one. I love it. Johnny's got one. He loves it. We have it in all shapes, sizes, colors for you to choose from. Fully customizable over at merch.ringsidereport.net. The new champion of Northern Heritage in Project X, Mr. Genesis Johnny North, in the damn house. Come on. Yeah.
Appreciate it. And not only the first ever Northern Heritage champion as well.
History.
A lot of history made right there. Like, again, first ever. That's the first ever championship I've won outside of Quebec. I've never won a championship outside of Quebec before. And probably the first and only time I'll ever probably win a championship in Toronto. It's very rare for a Montrealer to go to Toronto and win a championship. I think I can go across a lot of sports, actually. So the fact that happened is quite incredible.
You are an inspiration. You are a tremendous story. The fact that you're making these long trips every weekend, you're missing a bunch of our shows lately, you're off on the weekend wrestling. And, like, I noticed, because I noticed how many bookings you're getting, because, we don't do, you're off tomorrow, off wrestling again, not doing the WrestleDream show. I got my brother doing the show with me tomorrow. But it's just, seeing you go out and continue to thrive and get these bookings and get over and get pushes in these promotions and traveling and coming back and grinding. It's fantastic. And then to see you get a championship, to see that there's a promotion out there in Project X that sees your talent, that recognizes how great you really are, it's just fantastic. So I'm very happy that you won the belt. You kind of told me that you might win it possibly beforehand, but you never know in pro wrestling, right? Things change all the time. So when I saw you with the belt after having won the match, I was very hyped, very excited. So congratulations, man. Sincerely, it's awesome. And I'm very proud. I'm very proud of you and everything that you've done, everything you've accomplished. And you say it might be the first. I know it's the first, but I don't know if it'll be the only time you win a championship in Toronto, Johnny. But it is cool that you have gone out there and won a championship all the way out there in Toronto, because it is true. It's not like a lot of Montreal pro wrestlers are going out in these big Ontario promotions and winning belts, but you're doing it. Johnny's doing it.
Yeah, it was big thing though. Like, I usually wrestle in Sudbury when I go to Ontario. So like Toronto, I've only wrestled there maybe twice before in the past. And it just happened to be with Project X. And it just happened to be that championship match, which I only got inserted into like the day before the show because someone got injured. I mean, that's kind of how wrestling works almost in a sense. You just, opportunity comes in your lap and you just got to jump on it. And that's pretty much what happened. As I think, I don't know if you got it, but I commented on the show last week. Like, I took the bus down that night, overnight, to get to Toronto. Which I had to, because my goodness, Toronto traffic. Toronto's beautiful, but man, the traffic, it's worse than Montreal.
Yeah, I've heard. I haven't been to Toronto in many years, but I've heard it's worse traffic-wise. But yeah, I mean, you're taking overnight buses to get to Toronto to go and wrestle. It's commendable.
it was enjoyable. It was quite the trip. I mean, to go out there and then bam, you're right at Scotiabank Arena. You walk by the Sky Dome, Rogers Center, and then my venue's right there next to the BMO Field.
Wow.
Like, just an awesome downtown spot in Toronto. Like, you're pretty much all sports areas right there for Toronto. It's quite incredible. So, and of course, what happened at the show as well. I mean, yes, I won the Northern Heritage Championship, but also I got to meet Demolition. That was pretty awesome. Axe to Smash. That was pretty amazing. And I sent you the match. I taped and met Sam Wasco as well. That was quite incredible.
Yeah. What was Sam the Caveman like from Trailer Park Boys? I mean, Demolition, that's very cool. And they're not in the Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame?
No, there's a bit of controversy about that because they got their money back from WWE, and I think there might be some bitterness about that.
They got money back?
Yeah, I think there was some sort of like lawsuit or something, or some sort of settlement, and I don't know the whole details about that, but yeah, I think there might be some bitterness about that.
Huh.
So,
well, they should be in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, 100%. I don't disagree with you, and I think they may have been involved in the concussion lawsuit as well. So, again, maybe some bitterness, but they should be in the Hall of Fame without question. I told them, and this was a big thing for me, just tell them, like, I think it was SummerSlam 88 and 90, their matches against the Hart Foundation. Like, that was, in that period of time, that was the definition of tag team wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I know some people will say WCW, but I wasn't watching WCW. For me, back then, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So, that was pretty awesome just to tell them that. But yeah, Sam was really cool to meet. I mean, the first thing I think about is the smell. Man, that caveman smells so bad. But
he smelled for real?
I mean, that was in the match. You could hear him during. I didn't wrestle him, right? But that was the big thing about the whole thing during the match. Like the smell, like because he wrestled the guy Spenny from Kenny versus Spenny.
Okay.
And during the match, you can hear it too, like this, because he got him down like Gator roll a couple times, and you heard Spenny yell at the smell. And he was trying to roll out the ring a couple of times. I don't know if you caught that, but yeah.
But was that a work, or did he actually show up to the venue stinking?
Well, he showed up to the venue like in all greasy, like attire.
In character.
Yeah. Like he came in like a caveman, pretty much, like exactly like as you see him like on the show.
So that's how, because
most around.
People on wrestling shows show up in regular clothes and then they go to the dressing room and they change into their wrestling attire. Like, you don't walk into the venue in your spandex trunks and your face paint with no shirt on, right? You walk in with...
So AJ didn't like the face paint when you guys were doing the UFC show on Saturday. Apparently he wasn't a fan of that. I saw.
I think the face paint looks really cool. It makes you look like Sting.
A lot of people love the face. That's what a lot of the kids say. Like, well, I'm their Sting in a sense.
Yeah.
For that area, yeah.
It's cool. And that promo you did with that guy was good. And your face paint makes you look extra sad.
With Magnum McLaren, yeah. Yeah, I know, because it looks like I have like tears for eyes, whatever. Like, like the sad Taker in a sense. Yeah, when Taker used to have the sad tears.
It's very good. Keep it. Keep the sad face paint. It looks really good on you. It works. Yeah, I like the face paint. I mean, what does AJ know about wrestling anyways? But the fact that Sam shows up, I mean, I love him, but let's be honest. The fact that he shows up in gimmick, in character. What? Is that who he is as a person? Like, I don't understand what's going on with Sam Lasco from Trailer Park Boys. Is he trying to work the boys in a sense? Like, what's going on? Was it a character, or is he that guy and they just cast him in the show because that's who he is? Like, what's the story with him? Isn't his real name Sam Lasco too?
I think Tarasco. I think
Sam Tarasco. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
It says in the credits too. They say in the credits.
I mean, he looked greasy. But is he actually greasy?
I remember it was in the show. It was his teeth. I didn't really catch his teeth too much. I remember in the show his teeth really stood out. Like, his teeth looked kind of messed up.
Really? He's got bad teeth.
No, but in the show, I didn't really notice it, like, because I only maybe talked to him for like a little bit because he had his match, I had my match and all that. But like, I just remember in the show, like, man, his team was so bad. And I was also, thinking about, man, that smell. If they're talking about the smell in the match, maybe he smells too.
Okay. So, I don't know. Is it real? You're not sure. He worked you.
I'm not sure. I mean, it worked on me because, yeah, that's it. And the thing is, too, like, by the time he gets back, like, I think his match was right before my match. So I only saw him, like, after my match. So, like, we're all, like, sweaty anyway. So it's all that wonderful wrestling locker room smell. So it all just blends in together.
Gross.
As you can imagine.
Yeah, I know. I've been there. It's not nice.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, there's a specific odor too. It's like different than other locker rooms. I don't know why. I think it's the spandex. I think it's the clothes you guys wear. It's just not breathable. It's show clothes. It's not always built for athletics. It's built to look cool a lot of times, and then just the odor that happens because of that. Because it's hard to wash too, because it's not, it never gets quite clean. So there's built-in sweat into the wrestling gear. It is actually quite gross. People don't realize like the real sounds and smells of pro wrestling. Everybody's squishy. Everybody sounds like when they walk around, you go, everybody, right?
Yeah.
Which is weird, which you don't notice on TV. But like when you're near a bunch of wrestlers, you go, why is everybody like swishing as they walk? It's because of the clothes you guys wear. It's all whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It's weird. So that's not breathable. So it's going to stank. People don't know these things about wrestling, right? You'd have to be involved in wrestling, on a very close level, like be in a locker room for, ring announcing or pro wrestling, however you'd have it, right?
I think I probably smelled the best because I had baby oil on me. So,
where'd you get it from, Puff Daddy?
Oh, I actually, where'd I get it from? The Shoppers Drug Mart. Actually, I think I got it from there.
Did you buy 1,000 bottles?
Just one. I got one bottle of that.
That's good.
That's all I needed. I don't think I need 1,000. I don't know if they had 1,000, to be honest.
Well, they got to call Puffy. Puffy sold them out, man. That guy was caught with 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and the FBI said, "You can't have this much baby oil, sir. This seems illegal. We're not sure why, but we're going to tell everybody you have it."
So, cool to meet Demolition, Sam Losco, and I think that was probably the last time we'll see the guy I had the promo with, Magnum McLaren, because he's pretty much leaving to bigger and better things now. Like, he was the man now in Project X, so that promo, he was kind of like passing the torch in a sense.
To you.
So that was huge that he did that for me.
And he's going where? Can you say?
To a bigger place. I don't know exactly where, but I just know to a bigger place. So you'll probably see him on television somewhere.
Okay, he got signed somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. Good for him. We'll see him at some point. So congratulations. Okay, Johnny. We've got wrestling to talk about that,
Yeah. That's
right?
fun.
AEW's WrestleDream is happening. Let's start with that, and then I'll work our way back to everything in the WWE. AEW's WrestleDream going down tomorrow night in Tacoma, Washington. I will be on right after WrestleDream to recap it, give you the score on 10, give you our match of the night. I'll be drinking a lot of coffee because I think we'll be on very late tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. There's what, 9 matches?
Yeah.
10?
Yeah. I'll tell you, my sleep schedule, John, just the way I do things with the like extremely early mornings and stuff. And then the weekends where it's just like crazy late nights, just throwing everything off rhythm and out of whack. There's no rhythm ever for me. I think I'm abusing my body and pushing it to the very limit. But what are you going to do, man? I'm trying to push it to see as far as I can go. And then, I don't know, I guess I'll break.
Well, I did about the same this past weekend because I did the overnight on Friday and then did the overnight on Saturday. So sleep wasn't that good this past weekend, so hopefully I can catch up this weekend.
Yeah. I'm just hoping I can
But-
stay awake for WrestleDream tomorrow night. They better do a good show.
I mean, if it's good, it keeps you excited, it keeps you going, right? So it should be all right as long as the wrestling's good.
I am not terribly excited about this show.
Really, the main event, like I feel like that's your dream match almost. This could be the end of Bryan Danielson forever.
But Moxley isn't my dream opponent for him in any form or fashion. Not to end his career, certainly not to end his career on Jon Moxley. Like, that would be offensive, I think. And I mean, whatever. I think the match will be what it is. It'll be good. But if I had to pick a dream opponent for Bryan Danielson, it wouldn't be Moxley. Like, I would rather see him wrestle Darby.
Okay. I get that, but I mean, the rivalry's not there. I mean, it's there with Moxley. The story's there. Bryan's not bringing his kids to the pay-per-view
Yeah.
because the match is going to be so violent.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's promising that kind of violence, I'm expecting high-quality entertainment.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't retire, though. You know? I'm worried.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen eventually, even if it's not tomorrow. It's going to happen. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Obviously,
it's not like he's going
gonna
to
happen.
stop. Like, he's still going to wrestle, just not as frequent.
I don't want his title run to end. I don't want his full-time run to end. I don't want it to end here. I don't want it to end with Moxley. I don't think Moxley needs that. That is a thing that you give as an award to a wrestler that you want to either add to the resume of somebody that's young and established and going further, or to push somebody, like a Darby. If Darby would be the guy to retire Bryan Danielson and be like, ooh, look what Darby just did. Darby is taken more seriously. If MJF or Will Ospreay are the guys to retire Bryan Danielson, then you add something to the list of accomplishments, and a guy like MJF could really use that and talk about it and everything. Although MJF is playing like Happy Gilmore's son in the sequel of Happy Gilmore, who knows how long MJF's going to even stay in wrestling, right? Jeez, man. That guy could be in Hollywood doing movies and out of the wrestling business in 3 years or less. I don't know how much longer we have MJF, to be honest, John. But a guy like that, a guy like Ospreay, I would prefer. A guy like Darby, one of the younger guys that are less established than Jon Moxley. Moxley is extremely established. He doesn't need to also have been the guy to have retired Bryan Danielson. But, if he doesn't beat Bryan, where does this whole weird group go from here?
Exactly.
It's almost like they were created to take out Bryan Danielson so that they could then wreak havoc on the rest of AEW, and Bryan is the thing that is stopping them for some reason, which is unclear. Like, that's another thing. Moxley, I hate this feud. I think it's really dumb. I get why Bryan's mad. I don't get why Moxley's mad. Moxley's like, we had to do this to you, Bryan, because you're not prepared for what's coming. You're not up for what we have to do. Well, what is that exactly? What do you have to do? What's coming? Just beating up people? Like, he seemed down with that. Why did he attack Bryan Danielson? Because he's not ready to do the mean things we're gonna do, man. Fuck, it's stupid. It's dumb. It's ambiguous. And you go, what the hell are you talking about? I don't really understand what Moxley is doing. And the whole group, their whole reason for being is about Bryan Danielson and taking him out for some unknown reason. because Bryan doesn't want to do the things that they need to do. Well, did you ask him? Because he talks about violence a lot. He says he's going to do all sorts of terrible things to you, Jon Moxley. He seems down with like doing violence for the good of AEW or whatever. What exactly is the rift? What is the problem? Notice I said rift, John. Echoes of wisdom. I've been playing a lot. You know, what's the deal? I don't get it.
Well,
why is Moxley mad? Why did Claudio and Moxley turn on Bryan? Is it because they have a new short guy and they don't need another short guy? We got Pac now. We don't need Bryan anymore. We got a new short guy in the group. Is it because Bryan thinks Marina Shafir is big-time jabroni and he doesn't want her anywhere near the group and Moxley thinks she's awesome? Like, what's the story? Explain it to me. They still like Wheeler. They kind of wanted Wheeler to join them. But Wheeler, like, didn't want them to beat up Bryan, so now they hate Wheeler. But Wheeler didn't seem down with the program or ready for what's coming or anything like that. Yet they were willing to include him. So what's the issue? Shitty booking, man. It's bad. And if they retire Bryan off of this, I'll be disappointed. I'll be like, really? This is how you do it? This is how it all goes down? When Bryan retires, I want to see it coming. I want to look at the guy he's facing on a big match at a big pay-per-view and go, yeah, this seems like the one. And you go in, you expect it, it happens. Bryan gets a huge ovation. He's left in the ring. Family, tears, another beautiful moment, a nice send-off. Not violence that you can't have your kids at because you're bleeding profusely and then you're just left a bloody heap to end your full-time run. Like, that's just sad. That's not a way to go out as one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So, no. It shouldn't be Moxley. It shouldn't be tomorrow night. Bryan has to win. That said, I'm not sure he's going to. I'm going to pick him. I'm going to say I think he's going to. I think he should. But I'm nervous that Moxley will beat him. And I'll be real disappointed if that happens. So, like, I'm not very excited for the match, John, because I'm a bit nervous. Like, I think they might retire Bryan off of it, and I'm not super hyped for the match itself because I don't think Moxley is the ideal opponent for Bryan as far as match quality. I think it will be good because it's a Bryan Danielson match, but, like, I could think of better opponents. So, yeah, I don't know. And that's the main event. That's the selling point. Everything else is kind of whatever. So, yeah, I don't know, John. I think Bryan's going to win. I'm nervous. It's a match I have to see. I'm eagerly anticipating it. And I hope Bryan wins. And when he does, I'll be very pleased. So hopefully he gets past this one, and then we'll see. I don't know.
Well, if I was you, I'd be like, at least I'd want to see a match like this, unlike a match where it's like, well, it's obvious who's going to win. Like, let's just get it over with kind of thing. I know how the match will go pretty much. Yep. At least with this, where it's like, you got some nerves and it's like, oh, wow, like you have interest, you're involved. So, like, that's good. Like, it's actually worked in a sense. I mean, you may not be happy with the result in the end, but at least you're hooked in to see what's going to happen. That's actually good booking.
Yeah, but I would prefer it be somebody that I would be happy with being the guy.
Right.
And there are so many other options. Because, like, if Moxley does wind up being the guy to do it, it's like, man. Like, you know, I mentioned Ospreay, MJF, Swerve, Hangman, Darby, goddamn Wheeler. at some point if you could do it. Daniel Garcia, maybe, if you could figure out a way to get him there. Like, it's just so unnecessary for Moxley to be the guy to do it. Other than, the whole group, but then what? Moxley's champion, Bryan's gone, and then Moxley is like running roughshod over AEW and beating up everybody. Well, how does that? Because AEW is a bad place and it needs to be fixed and rectified, but they're heels, right? So what about the Elite? How do they work into all of that? How does that make sense? Because the Elite, they're kind of running the show and they're heels. Is that what we don't see coming? Is this group all part of the Elite, some sort of super group that's going to take over all of AEW? Because that seems lame.
Yeah, I feel like it's its own little thing. I feel like they love doing this whole mystery kind of angle. Like they did this last year, right, with the whole devil thing.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is the whole new angle for this year, mystery going into the end of this year. So we're just going to wait and see how this all turns out. Hopefully it's a better reveal than the devil thing. The devil thing didn't really pan out very well. But I feel there's enough star power in this. This has a better chance of working. And I think in the end, as long as Bryan wins on Saturday, I think you're fine with everything. You just don't want him to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess. But I also think that the match, him and Moxley, it's like, I don't know, if he wins, it's like, yeah, all right. If he loses, it's like, oh, man, that sucks. And I don't know. I'm not so into this whole feud, what they're doing. The build to it. Like, I like Bryan's promos, but Moxley's promos have been just, not great.
Well, I'm going to throw a curveball on you on this one. I think Bryan will retain, but I don't think it ends here. I think this goes to Full Gear. So I think it will happen with Moxley, just not now.
Oh, yeah. I hope you're wrong, but you might be right. You might be. So we both have Bryan Danielson winning in the main event tomorrow night at AEW's WrestleDream, right?
We do, yeah.
All right. What the hell is the rest of this card?
Oh, there's a couple of good matches. Like, I don't know about you, like Jay White, Hangman. I thought you'd be very interested in that one.
I mean, I would have a year and a half ago, but
Okay.
AEW has really devalued Jay White.
I mean, he's not the star that you hyped him up to be, that's for sure.
Well, you stick him with the Bang Bang Gang. I mean, what the hell? You stick him with Billy Gunn's kids and all this goofy stuff. Like, what do you expect? He hasn't been put in anything serious. He showed up. He had a good match for the world title against MJF, right? But it was in a weird spot where MJF was also doing the whole devil thing and there was other stuff going on and Jay White was just kind of a roadblock just for a minute there, right? He wasn't really the destination. So they haven't done Jay White very well. So Hangman coming off, this hot angle with Swerve. He beats Swerve, and he gets rewarded by this mid-feud with Jay White. Jay White comes back from injury, and we're supposed to believe in Jay White as a credible threat for Hangman, which, at one time he would have been, but now it just seems not credible. So, I don't know. I like Jay White. I think the match with Hangman will be good. But Hangman should win. And if he loses, then what the hell was all that Swerve stuff for? What the hell is all this evil Hangman run been for? And who's the heel?
Yeah, I think it's Hangman. Because Jay kind of got cheered on Dynamite, didn't he?
I don't know, man. I don't think the fans are sure who to cheer for. Because I'd cheer for Hangman. I think a lot of people would.
I mean,
He's
this
done
is a tough
cooler
one.
stuff lately. You know?
Fine, but I think some people like Jay White though.
Yeah. I don't think they like him as much as Hangman. Like, I like Jay White, but I like Hangman more.
I don't know. I know you don't like the whole Bang Bang Gang thing, but I think some people actually like it. So I think Jay White gets a lot of love for that.
Yeah, but you know what it is, John. That's not main event. You know, that's not big time. That's low end of the card, man. Bang bang, scissor gang, all that stuff. That was silly goofiness. That's not playing at the top of the card. That's show opener, pre-show nothingness.
And it was.
That's what I'm saying.
And it won't stop it from having a good match. It'll be a good match with Hangman. I expect Hangman to win. However, this is Jay White's comeback. So
Yeah.
it's not possible for Jay White to win this one, actually.
No. He kind of should, but then why? Like, I don't like the pairing of these two right now. It's not good for Hangman. It does nothing for Hangman. He needs to win, but then that really screws Jay White out of yet another return comeback run, you know? Like, you want him to come back strong. Maybe you could refresh after the injury, use him better, make him a main event player. But if he loses to Hangman right off the bat, he's not as credible. But then if he beats Hangman, you go, oof, Hangman dropped off, I guess.
It's not the worst thing for Hangman to lose this one, but
it's not
you
great.
would expect he should win. I mean,
he should.
The next spot should be for the world title after this.
Right. He should win, but then if he doesn't and Jay White wins, then what the hell? Then Hangman's push is kind of stalled in this weird place, you know? And if Hangman does win, right, then again, Jay White is like, ugh, it didn't happen.
It's tough.
Not his fault. The booking is screwing him. That's why the pairing of these two is horrible. Horrible. The booking of this card has been bad. And I wonder if Tony Khan isn't distracted because NFL season started.
I don't think so. I always found last year WrestleDream was too much, actually. I feel like there needs to be more of a space with their pay-per-views. WrestleDream was too much to add, I think.
I don't know. This is pretty weak. This is pretty weak stuff. And the booking on these shows has been just atrocious on, like, Dynamite. Like, when Mercedes Moné beat, what's-her-face? Emi Sakura, right?
Right.
Okay? Then she beats up Sakura after the match. Who makes a save? Chris Statlander.
Yep.
Did I miss something?
You missed it, yeah, actually. Like, she's a face again.
Why?
Because apparently her and, was it Stokely Hathaway? I guess they broke up, so yeah, she's a face
Why?
again. Because I guess she was mad that Stokely cost her, like, a title shot or something, so...
They have something, and then they blow it up immediately. They had something there with Statlander and Stokely. They had an act.
I agree. It's kind of crazy, but I guess for whatever reason they needed a face, I guess. A tall woman face, I guess.
Ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Mariah May defending the AEW Women's World title against Willow Nightingale. Willow was supposed to wrestle Britt Baker for a title shot, but Britt was sick. So Willow wrestled a four-way instead on Dynamite that she won, of course, and will now face Mariah May for the AEW Women's World Championship. I don't think Mariah is losing here to Willow. Come on.
I mean, I don't think Mariah loses until we get to that Toni Storm rematch. Whether she beats Toni or not, it doesn't matter. We need to get to that match first, I think.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised they didn't go with Jamie Hayter in the four-way to go up against Mariah, though. That seems to be a bigger match. Too soon?
It could happen, just not right now.
It should happen.
Oh yeah.
It really should. All right, so we got Mariah over Willow, we got Hangman over Jay White, and we got Bryan over Moxley. We are agreeing on everything so far, John. Let's see some of these weird matches. Hologram versus the Beast Mortos in a 2 out of 3 falls match on pay-per-view.
I mean, you haven't watched their matches on Collision. Those matches have been fantastic. I think this is a great match. I would not mind seeing this, actually.
I had no
Hologram,
idea Mortis was still wrestling.
or alive, I guess, right? But yes.
No idea. How you going to call yourself the Beast Mortis?
Wasn't he? He had a different name before, but they changed it to that. I guess it was just easier for people to know that one.
Mortis and Glacier, brother. What a tag team.
Wrath.
Oh, is it Wrath and Glacier?
Wrath and Mortis. Actually.
Wrath and Mortis? They feuded with Glacier, right? They hated Glacier?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Man, Glacier was amazing. Okay, what the hell is this? Mansoor and... So, wait, who do you have winning this Hologram and the Beast Mortos? I'm going with the Beast Mortos because he's part of, like, this new group with Roosh and another guy. Gravity?
Oh,
I don't know who. Is it?
LFI. I know. I think it's Dralistico, isn't it?
Dralistico, yeah.
I'm good at these names. Wow.
You are good. I'm surprised. There's so many jabronis on this show.
Gotta watch Collision. Keeps you up to date.
No, I don't. So who wins? I got Beast Mortis. You gonna go with the hologram or what?
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point, but Hologram's undefeated, so
Is
I
he?
don't think they're gonna break. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna break his streak quite yet.
I think they do it here. Okay, MXM Collection versus the Acclaimed. What the hell is MXM Collection?
The maximum male models.
What? Pardon me?
Remember the maximum male models that were on SmackDown?
Mansoor. Yeah, it's Mansoor and what was the other guy's name? Mansoor.
Mace.
And who?
Mace. I think the other guy was Mace, wasn't it?
So they're in AEW now? They got signed to AEW?
Yeah.
Why?
It's been a couple of months now, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Where have they been? I haven't seen them at all.
See, you don't watch Collision, then you're missing half the roster, I think. So that's it, yeah. They were there.
It's half the roster I don't need to see, apparently. I don't want to see any of these people on TV. What is this, a Collision pay-per-view? This is trash. These guys are wrestling the Acclaimed? I hope the Acclaimed destroy these guys. Why are they in AEW? This was a stupid gimmick. They're taking the stupid gimmick that LA Knight shit on, and even Maxine was like, I don't want any part of this. This stupid gimmick that Vince McMahon came up with, they're using this on the indies, and AEW is using it on their show? What is this pathetic creative that they have here? This is ridiculous. They're doing a male model gimmick that WWE basically rejected. This isn't like WCW where they take a good WWF angle and they tweak it slightly to make it theirs. They take something that got over and then they tweak it to make it theirs. No, this is something that didn't get over, that sucked, that was universally panned, and these jabronis are using it, and AEW is allowing it to be used on their show? Are you asleep at the wheel, Tony Khan? What's happening, man? Why would you book this shit? This is shit, man. I'm going to fall asleep during this garbage-ass pay-per-view. I cannot believe this shit. What the fuck are they doing? Is this Ring of Honor? What is this shit?
They
Fuck
started
off
Ring
with
of
this.
Honor.
I'm starting to talk myself out of a post show tomorrow. I'm like, I don't know if I want to watch this pay-per-view at all. I didn't realize it was so garbage. I gotta watch fucking Mace and Mansoor fucking wrestle on pay-per-view? Are you kidding me? And it's not even like they're getting squashed. They're wrestling the Acclaim, so they'll probably wrestle at least 7 minutes. It'll probably be more because AEW likes to torture us with more wrestling than anyone could ever want. We're the best wrestle too fucking much. Jeez.
Yeah, I kind of had the same feeling, not as harsh, but I had the same feeling as you kind of did. But then I saw them against FTR, and I'm like, wait a minute, like they can actually have some good matches. Like, where was this when they were on SmackDown? Because we never really saw it at all. But then I actually saw them wrestle, and I feel like they're getting more over now than they were before. So it actually works better in AEW than it did in WWE.
I hate it.
Well, I know you didn't like it before, but it's weird the things that you like. You like the Yes Boy stuff, but you don't like the fashion stuff. It's
Yes,
weird.
boy! I love Pretty Deadly. Where the hell have they been? Get them back
you have
on
to watch.
TV.
You have to watch Main Event, I think.
Okay,
You can
well,
watch
I
that,
will
though.
just to watch them because they're worth it. I just found a Kit Wilson action figure for my son. We ordered it tonight.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, we have Elton Prince already, but we needed the Kit Wilson, so we found them. So now we got the matching set. Pretty Deadly action figures for his, wrestling fed that he runs with his toys. Big stuff. He's got quite a roster. He needed Pretty Deadly on the roster, of course, right? Come on.
Can't you? I wonder if he'll get the maximum male models. Probably not, but
In his fed, Kofi Kingston just won a big match, and he's going to wrestle The Undertaker for the WWE Championship.
not Roman Reigns. Oh,
No, Taker's a champion right now. Roman has been champion, but Taker is current champion. He's got like a nice Ultimate Edition Undertaker with a Paul Bearer figure too. Kane comes to the ring with him. It's a whole thing. It's very impressive.
I guess he doesn't know that Undertaker killed Paul Bearer, like in storylines and all that. But
Yeah, no, we go on the basis that they're still friends and it's all one big group and they love it.
okay,
It's classic. It's as good as it gets. Brothers of the Destruction led by Paul Bearer. It's a license to print money, brother. Okay, speaking of printed money, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nicholas Jackson defending the AEW Tag Team titles against Private Party.
your excitement level just jumped right there.
The Bucks will win. It will be a match that I will watch, I guess. I don't know. Is there baseball tomorrow? Guardians and Tigers, Game 5. I'll probably be watching that more than the AEW pay-per-view. I mean, my interest in the Tigers Guardians Game 5 is far greater than most of these matches. Pretty much all the matches except the main event. Because the winners of the Tigers Guardians series will go on to the American League Championship Series against a team that already advanced. They didn't need 5 games to do it. They got there in 4. They dropped 1 and won 3.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees
Not today.
win.
They won the ALDS, though. They eliminated the Kansas City Royals last night, John. And
Last
I
night,
have
not
one
today.
question for you. How do you like them
What's up?
apples?
I'm just like Jerry Seinfeld. Like I'm hoping for New York to win, but not the right one that you want, actually. So, Grimace, I think, chose the right side of New York. So, go Grimace. And also, by the way, like if Cleveland wins, that means they have home field advantage then, correct? Because they finished number 1.
No.
Didn't they finish number 1? I thought Cleveland finished number 1.
The Yankees finished with the best record in the American League. They have
Oh,
home
okay.
field
I thought-
advantage through the American League.
Oh, I guess it doesn't matter. I guess for Doug's sake, then I hope Tigers win.
I hope the Tigers win, too.
You think it's an easier matchup then, I guess.
No, I just want October to continue. My buddy, the big youngster, also known as Oscar, October, he lives in Detroit, and we've been talking about the Tigers. He's very excited. So, one of my best friends is out in Detroit. He's a big Tigers fan. I want him to have success. And, maybe if he scores tickets to the ALCS, I'll go down to Detroit and watch my Yankees whoop on his Tigers. So I would like to see the Tigers advance just so I could talk trash to my buddy via text. Talk about how the Yankees are better and how they are smashing his Tigers.
Well, that'd be cool. I don't see you going to Detroit just in the middle of the week like that, but I mean, that'd be awesome if it happens.
Ooh, I mean, if my buddy calls me and says, I got tickets to ALC, I told him, I was like, if you get tickets to the ALCS when the Yankees play the Tigers, if they, if we both make it that far, our teams make it that far, if you get tickets, I'll go to Detroit. I'll make the trip. So if he does get tickets, John, I will have to be a man of my word. I mean, I doubt he'll get tickets, but if he does happen to get a pair of tickets anywhere in that stadium, I would have to go. I've got sick days. My family would understand, and work would have to understand. You got to do what you got to do for ALCS? What?
Well, apparently the game's at 1, and Angelo says,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, because of the weather. There's going to be bad weather coming at night. I actually knew that. It was supposed to be a night game, but there's rain coming at night, so they're trying to get the game in, because the ALCS starts Monday. So they got to get this game in, Saturday so that they can get a rest travel day on Sunday. Because I guess the game is in Cleveland. And they're going to have to travel to New York, so they need a travel day, a rest day, you would think. They don't want to have the game on Sunday. They don't want to have to push it, so they moved it early, 1 p.m. Thank you, Angelo, for the reminder. Harold Schneider dropping a super chat as well, says he's the #1 fan. And you are the super chat leader of the night. Thank you, Harold. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Harold. Thank you to everybody supporting over at join.ringsidereport.net. Back to AEW's WrestleDream. We got the Bucks over Private Party, right? Obviously.
We do. I agree with you on that one.
God, this is a weak pay-per-view. Will Ospreay. Okay, here we go. There's something. 3-way match for the AEW International Championship. Will Ospreay, the champion, defending against Ricochet and Konosuke Takeshita. There you go. That's something to tune in for. That'll be awesome. I think Ospreay will retain.
Oh, yeah? Okay. I will say Konosuke is going to become the new champion.
Okay.
Just to be different, because I feel like this could go, really any one of them could win this match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was an interesting promo. A lot of development between Ospreay and Don Callis, right?
Yep. That was good promo. We needed that promo, actually.
Why did we need it?
We finally needed to end the whole, why are you friends with these people? They're the bad guys, and, you're supposed to be a good guy. And, we finally need that, Ospreay to be like, yeah, Don, you're a jerk. And Don to finally do the slap. So then they're finally against each other. And Don admitting that, he actually did set up Ospreay once and for all. None of this, we left on a plane, whatever, stupid excuse. No, they don't like him anymore. They don't like the fact that he left the group and, he thinks he was the best wrestler in the world. And, he had the best wrestler in the world before. And he took him out, and he's going to do it again. I think that's good.
Ospreay's buddy's still in the group, though, right?
Well, that's the conflicted part, and he walked out, right? He didn't join in on the beating.
Yeah, Kyle Fletcher, he was like, hey, stop attacking Ospreay, and then they're like, no, this is what we got to do, and he's like, oh, I'm leaving. He got all mad. So I don't know if he's still with Takeshita and Don Callis. We call it a group, but it's a 3-man operation, right? Is there anybody else in that thing?
It's supposed to be Will Hobbs, remember?
Oh, yeah. Oh, apparently he's, almost back from injury. He should be back soon. So maybe he gets involved in this match, helps Takeshita win. Oh, maybe. Because there was
It's
a
a
lot of
three-way.
Don Callis family talk on the show, and it made me think, like, oh, that's going to be a thing playing into the match. Now you're convincing me, John. Can I change my pick? I'm going to go with Takeshita, too. I think Will
You
Hobbs
change
is
your
going to
pick.
help him win.
Okay. Well, also, like, do we have any titles changing? I don't think so. This is the only one, so.
Yeah, they could do that. I don't think Shibata will beat Jungle Boy for the AEW TNT title. Jack Perry versus Shibata. I'll go with Jack Perry winning. I don't think they're going to give him any big losses anytime soon. They're pushing Perry pretty strong right now.
I think whoever beats, I think it's going to be Daniel Garcia to beat Perry. I don't think anyone else is beating Perry before that.
Mm-hmm. Daniel Garcia cut a promo on Dynamite this week saying like he's staying with AEW. I guess there was talk that his contract was up and I guess he signed a new deal. He didn't explicitly say that, but that's kind of what he was saying.
Because like he beats MJF, right? Or no, he lost MJF, but he beat him up.
Yeah.
At All Out. We haven't seen both of them since.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what the heck? Like, I understand we don't see MJF. He's filming a movie and all that, selling the injury. That makes sense. Why is Daniel Garcia not on television? And the reason came out was like, oh, contract dispute and all this. So maybe you won't see him again. So the fact that you saw him again, it feels like, yeah, he signed with AEW. So
yeah.
Good for him.
I thought it would have been funny if he came out to cut a promo and saying, you know, you guys want big things from me. You guys want me to do big things. I'm going to WWE. So, see ya. That didn't happen.
It's funny. He was trying to tease the fact, like, oh, I don't know what I should do. Maybe I should stay. Maybe I shouldn't. Like, he was kind of teasing it a little bit. And it's like, I mean, you wouldn't be doing this promo right now if you're teasing anything. Like, it's kind of obvious, but whatever.
Right. Okay, so you got that feeling too. Like he was almost teasing that he was going to announce going to WWE, but I was like, well, wait a second. You can't do that. But it did seem like he was kind of leading towards that. It was weird.
He didn't really have anything besides the fact that, oh, he's staying with AEW, and that's all he really had. So he had to play that up a little bit because they gave him some time, right? So, I mean, if you think about his past promos, he's gotten better at talking. It's just, it's still not the greatest thing in the world. There's a lot of people way ahead of him in terms of the promos, but at least it wasn't the worst thing in the world. And like, they're building towards something. I could see that with him and Jack Perry. Like, that'll happen.
Angelo thinks Will Ospreay will retain. Well, we're going against you, Angelo, and we're going with Takeshita. We're picking all the same matches, John. I'm sorry, but it's just how it's going to go.
No, we didn't.
Didn't we?
I picked Hologram. You did not pick Hologram.
Oh, okay. Is that the only one that we picked differently? Hologram and the Beast Mortos?
I think we went. Well, no, you're right, because a three-way we went different, but we switched. So that's the only one. Yeah, I guess it comes down to that match. That's the match to watch now.
And you got the Acclaimed versus the male models, right?
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, I thought the male models are doing all right, but yeah, Acclaim to win that match. Yes.
How about Darby Allin versus Brody King? They cut a promo this week talking about their history and their feelings toward each other. Apparently, they're good friends, and they talked about it, and now they're going to wrestle.
And him with the Rock. That was like, wow. There was a lot of blood, too.
Yeah, did he really hit him with the Rock, and did that cause the blood in the mouth? Because, I mean, how do you... I don't know. It was unclear what happened. Was that like a blood pack in his mouth, like a capsule or something?
I hope so, because that was a lot of blood.
It was a lot. It was so much blood. It was like, well, teeth would have come out if that. You know what I mean? Like he hit him in the mouth, and there was all this mouth blood after a rock shot to the face. I think there was capsules or something. Couldn't have been real. If it was, goddamn, pal.
You never know with wrestlers, but I got Darby winning this one. I mean, I think they're trying to give Brody something, but he's mainly a tag wrestler, trio wrestler. So Darby's the main singles guy. And they talk about like, oh, you want my spot kind of thing. I mean, I think Darby's going to keep his spot for a little bit.
Yeah. And this match is only happening because Darby Allin issued an open challenge.
There's no one else to wrestle Darby. Yeah, there's no one else for Darby to wrestle. So, yeah, it gives Darby a spot on the show, which is fine because, like,
They need to put him on the show because it's in Tacoma, Washington. Darby's from Seattle. This is his home state. The crowd will demand a Darby match. Like, the crowd is going to be hot for Darby and Bryan. Also, Swerve is supposed to show up and make some sort of announcement, decision, whatever. He's going to have some sort of promo. Swerve is going to make his return for the first time since All
Out.
In the Hangman match. And there's been talk with MVP and Prince Nana, and MVP seems to want Swerve to go over to his side and not be managed by Nana anymore. So I think maybe Swerve will make some sort of decision. How do you think that plays out? Do you think he goes with MVP or he sticks with Nana? I think he's going with MVP.
No, I think he's going to say no, and then we're going to have Bobby Lashley come out.
Oh, yeah. And then he'll feud with Bobby for a while.
Yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, that makes sense, too. I'd like to see him just go with MVP, though. I think you're probably right. That does make sense because they got Bobby waiting in the wings. Like, they need somebody for him to feud with, but I don't know. I'm not so excited for Swerve versus Bobby.
I mean, that's what we think is going to happen, but AEW likes to throw curveballs, so wait and see. But I think Bobby Lashley will debut in whatever segment Swerve has, I think.
I agree. Mark Briscoe defending the Ring of Honor World Championship against the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. I hope Jericho wins. I think he might.
You're picking Jericho? I want him to win. I don't think he's going to win, though. I think something's going to happen. He's going to get screwed over or something. It might play into the whole, like, Hook and Taz's dad thing, Taz, like, his dad. Like, yeah. I think it's going to play into that. Like, they found out that they took him out or something, and it's going to help cost them the match. So I think Briscoe retains.
I don't know. He's been Ring of Honor champion for a while, hasn't he?
Well, I guess a couple months.
Yeah.
Sure.
And Jericho had that FTW belt, but he got rid of it and whatever. Jericho with a belt on TV is good.
I agree, but the Ring of Honor world title doesn't need to be shown on AEW television, really. They have enough AEW titles, so.
Yeah, but it's a good way to showcase the Ring of Honor championship because you kind of forget about it. But if Jericho has it, you remember because he keeps telling you he's the Ring of Honor champion.
I mean, if Ring of Honor is going to be a big thing, sure, but I mean, have they really done anything lately?
I don't know.
I mean, it just seems to be the same thing. Unless they're getting a big like deal with Ring of Honor being on like a big network or something, or it's getting like its own deal on television somewhere. I don't. I think Mark still is champion. That's fine.
I mean, he might be telling us that he's the Ring of Honor champion all the time, but I can't understand what the hell that guy's saying. So, who would know from that guy's promos? He's fun, though. We like him. Atlantis Jr. will wrestle Brian Cage. Atlantis Jr. is the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, defending this against Brian Cage. It's the pre-show match. I really couldn't care less. I'm going to go with Atlantis Jr., I guess. I don't even know who that is.
There's no title. Atlantis Jr., like, he wrestled Jericho, I think, on a Collision as well.
Okay.
There's no titles or anything on the line in this one, right?
Ring of Honor TV title, Atlantis Jr. defending.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, then I'll have him, retain, I think.
There we go. And that's AEW's WrestleDream.
Sounds like it's going to be long. Very long.
There's 11 matches.
And a segment.
Yeah. What are they doing?
I feel like they do one too many pay-per-views. Like, the pay-per-views are usually, especially this year, the pay-per-views have been very good, but I feel with this, it's one too many. Like, I think that break between now and Full Gear, that was good. They should have kept it like that.
I agree. This is too much. It's too much. But it's happening tomorrow night. Maybe it'll surprise us, John, and be an incredible show. You know, the wrestling is usually good. I think we'll see some great matches. I think Bryan and Moxley will be good. I think the three-way with Ospreay and Ricochet and Takeshita will be very good. And, you know, other things will happen. Mariah May and Willow Nightingale has the possibilities of being very good, too. There's some upside. You tell me Beast Mortos and that other guy have good matches, you know?
Hologram, yeah. Hologram is very good, man. I really enjoyed his match with Commander this week on Dynamite. I think Hologram is must-see every time he's on television.
All right. Well, I'll watch it, and we'll see. We'll see what they give us tomorrow night. And Angelo says we'd understand if you didn't do a post-show tomorrow. Well, that is nice of you, Angelo, but we will be on. Right after AEW's WrestleDream. My brother's coming over. We're going to party. Maybe I'll even take a nap in the afternoon to prepare. How about that? Okay, back in the WWE world, Johnny, they've got Crown Jewel coming up. They're building up these shows. They're building up these matches. Gunther wrestled Sami Zayn, defeated Sami Zayn to retain the world title on Raw this week in the main event. The main event happened, and I said, oh, okay, that's weird. It's kind of early. Kind of early for the main event. There's another hour left on this show. And then, no, the show was over because Raw was 2 hours this week. Raw is back to 2 hours, which is amazing. A lot easier to sit through a 2-hour Raw than a 3-hour Raw. Wasn't the best, you know, wrestling show I've ever seen, but it was easier to watch than it normally is. So that's a help. That's a start. I thought Gunther and Sammy was all right. I thought Sheamus versus Pete Dunne in the Donnybrook Brawl was fun. They did some fun spots in that one. They had a 10-woman tag that was interesting just to see all those people, see where they stand. I didn't realize Fire and Dawn were siding with Stark, Baszler, and Deville, but apparently they are. They lost, though, against Natalya, Carter, Chance, Zelina Vega, and Lyra Valkyria. So that was a thing. I mean, it wasn't great, but it was like, oh, okay. It was the kind of slow down match of the show, and it was only really one of them. Usually I got 2 or 3 of those clunkers on the show, and you didn't really have much of that. You had Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods, which was kind of short, but it really wasn't about the match. I think it was more about the result and the post match and everything, where, you know, Jay wins, Woods is upset, Kofi shows respect to Jey Uso, Woods is mad that Kofi's showing him respect because Woods is upset and he doesn't want to shake hands because Woods is frustrated because New Day's career is just slipping away from them. And Kofi seems fine with it to just kind of remain status quo, and Woods wants to change. And, you know, Woods is supposed to be the heel, but you kind of understand Woods' perspective. I really enjoy what Xavier Woods is doing right now and what they're doing with Kofi and Woods. So, you know, Kofi showing respect to Jay, and Woods got mad at Kofi, and then he walked away out of the ring. But then Braun Breaker showed up. Well, Kofi kind of walked after Woods and was like, hey, man, you know, what's going on? And then Braun Breaker showed up, and he attacked Jey Uso. And then Kofi went to help Jey Uso, even though Woods is like, no, this isn't our business. Leave him alone. Like, leave him. Kofi went to try and help. Kofi got taken out by Braun Breaker. Woods tried to help. He got taken out by Braun Breaker. And then Woods was all mad, and Breaker's trying to get the IC title back. But I liked all of that. I thought all of that was good. And I really like what's going on with Xavier Woods. I don't know where it's headed, but I think he's doing a tremendous job. I think he's a great talent. And I like that they're showcasing these guys and what they can do in the ring, on the microphone, you know? Talented guys. So I'm invested in that story for sure. The Xavier Woods saga on Raw, to me, is the most interesting thing on that whole show.
I think it's one of them for sure. I felt like Raw, they focus more on story than the wrestling. The wrestling is kind of just, it happens. but it's not really something of noteworthy so much as the story is really the focus, and that's pretty much the attention they put on is so much on what happens after the match or before the match. Then the match happens, and whatever that happens, it happens.
That's their TV format for sure.
So, I mean, if you enjoy good stories, like I feel WWE delivers that. If you're looking for the matches, not so much. I enjoyed the Donnybrook with Sheamus, and Pete Dunne, but still, like it was just okay. It wasn't like, oh wow, like that match. I mean, that one crazy jump they did off the barrel into the table, that was kind of rough because I think Sheamus like messed up his arm, messed up his back. I mean, that was kind of rough, and it feels like I don't know. WWE's getting into a bit more violent matches now. It feels like, especially after we saw Hell in the Cell. I don't know if they're being more like lenient towards just being more violent, but
yeah, I think so.
It feels like they're a little bit more
it's
open
good, though.
to it.
We want that. We want a little bit more violence. AEW's bringing so much violence, WWE has to compete a little bit. That Hell in a Cell match was great. CM Punk, though, beaten up, comes out on Raw and says, I got to go home for a while. I'm all hurt. He's got his arm bandaged up. And then Seth Rollins comes out and he's like, I hope you come back soon because when you come back, I'll be there to retire you again. So, Punk gone for a bit. John, I know you're upset about this, but I don't think this is a big deal. This is just CM Punk stepping away, taking a mini vacation because he's not doing anything at Crown Jewel, because he's not going to Saudi Arabia, because he was very outspoken about WWE and their business dealings with Saudi Arabia when he was outside of the WWE, that it would be so ultimately hypocritical of him to go to Saudi Arabia with the WWE now that he's there. And I don't think he's willing. I don't think he's going to go. It may have even been part of his deal for signing. I don't know what the story is, why exactly he's not going or how he got that, but I think he's just not going to be at Crown Jewel. So if they're not booking him for a match, he might as well take some time, go off TV, and then he'll come back after Crown Jewel, which is, not that far away. Crown Jewel is November 2nd. It's 3 weeks away. They got 3 more weeks of TV before Crown Jewel. So,
I mean, as long as he's only out till like after Crown Jewel, that's fine.
Yeah, he'll be at Survivor Series. He'll work Survivor Series for sure.
I hope so.
Probably against Seth.
I feel like that might be too. I think that's a WrestleMania match, but I mean, as long as he's involved in some capacity, I think that's fine. Like, I'd be worried if he's only doing like the big shows. Like, if we only see him by the Rumble, I'd be very disappointed.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Punk will be back shortly after Crown Jewel. Speaking of Crown Jewel, Seth Rollins probably going to wrestle Bronson Reed at that show. Get that over and done with.
Well, I wasn't there when you probably talked about it, but that whole like Monsters Last Man Standing thing, like the idea was good, but I question the execution in a lot of ways. Just like one, the whole like the ring like collapsed, right? Fell down, all that. Like they did the whole Big Show Rock thing all over again, Big Show Mark Henry and all that. And like the referee falls out of the ring and he's the first guy that got up. I mean, doesn't that bury all the wrestlers involved? Like, when that happens, like...
It's not good, eh? That's funny. I didn't even notice that.
And like, okay, so we're building up Bronson Reed, and he loses to have the match with Seth? Like, I don't get that one.
Well, he lost because of Seth.
So then he can wrestle Seth, which he'll probably lose as well. So... Yeah.
Whatever, he got a little run on TV. It was more than he was doing before.
I think maybe building him as an unstoppable monster till he wrestles Seth.
Not over Braun Strowman. You shouldn't sacrifice Braun Strowman for that. You could use Braun Strowman in real ways. You got to have him win some matches.
Well, Braun looked like he was hurting in that match. Like, did you see him like trying to run? Like,
yeah,
oof.
He doesn't move well. He's had some injuries.
He got hurt in that match. Like,
yeah, he may be. He may be hurt. But yeah, Punk going for a little bit, I don't think is a big deal, John. I think he'll be back soon. I'm not worried.
I hope you're right. Like, I mean, not just back, but actually wrestling. Like, because we haven't gotten many matches from Punk. I mean, what we have got has been pretty good. I just hope we get more.
Fantastic match at the Hell in a Cell. I know I did the Bad Blood post show without you last week, but that was a great match.
Probably one of the best matches WWE did all year. I mean, the rest of the show was god awful.
Yep.
But I mean, Hell in the Cell was fantastic. I mean,
Yep.
I was so like that Nia versus Ham Bailey match. Like, woof.
Yep.
That was pretty bad.
That was not good. I mean, the whole show was not good except for Punk's match and then The Rock showing up later.
And you want to talk about bad booking? Like, you book the best match first.
Well,
Like, I question that
why.
one. Yeah, but like, regardless of the whole like Roman thing, like, still like, put like the Hell in the Cell right before the main event or something, or maybe like a little match in between. Like,
I think it
killed
should have been
everything.
Yeah, I think it should have been right before.
I mean, everything was just like nothing. I mean, they weren't very good matches regardless, but still, like,
Yeah.
nothing. Like, you put everyone in a bad spot because nothing could compare to that.
Yeah. At least The Rock showed up at the end.
And the whole Kevin Owens thing, I guess we can. Did you see that when that happened, or?
I mean, I saw a clip of it on Twitter where Kevin Owens attacked Cody after Bad Blood in the parking lot or whatever.
Now, I like Kevin. I think Kevin's a great guy, you know, in real life and all that. But like, that punch it threw me off on that one. I love the idea of what they're trying to do, but when he throws a worked punch, like, it doesn't work. It just didn't work because of that.
I didn't hate it. There was a lot of Kevin Owens action tonight on SmackDown, right? It continued.
I think it was better on SmackDown, but again, it ended weird, where it's like Kevin came out and it's like, oh, he's suspended, he's not allowed being there. And then security jumps Cody. They kind of get around Kevin, but then they jump Randy, and then they leave Kevin alone. And I'm like, he's the guy that's not supposed to be there, and no one touches him. And I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that's true. Security direction was a little off. Kevin Owens showed up during the Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson were on their way to a tag team match that they, of course, lost to Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I mean, whatever. That match just happened. It was pretty short and uneventful. But they were making their entrance, and then Kevin Owens just kind of showed up in between, like in the middle of it, and got on the mic, and he's like, look, I know I was told I wasn't supposed to be here, but Cody Rhodes, he turned on me. And then his mic gets cut off because apparently he's been suspended and fined for that attack on Cody Rhodes, so he's not allowed to be on TV. Kevin saying all these things about Cody Rhodes while wearing a Dusty Rhodes t-shirt, by the way, which is kind of funny. And then Kevin goes on commentary and says, Cody turned on me. And then Cody comes out, but then security gets between Cody and Kevin, and then Randy Orton comes out to calm down his friends, and he tells Cody to calm down. He's going to go to the ring and tell Kevin to calm down, and he goes to the ring, and Kevin's not calming down, and Kevin pushes Randy, and Randy kind of backs off, and Kevin goes near the ropes, and there's security, and then Randy kind of comes from behind to Kevin to kind of tap him on the back and relax him, but Kevin's arm kind of goes back, and he elbows Randy, which pisses off Randy, and you could tell Randy is maybe thinking he did that knowingly. So Randy then delivers a forearm to Kevin, and Kevin drops. And the look on Kevin's face when Randy forearmed him brought the building to a silence. It was incredible. It was an incredible acting job, incredible expression, incredible reaction from Kevin Owens in that moment. Just the look on his face saying, why did you do this to me? And also, oh my God, I guess I have to stop and I'll leave. And I can't believe you've done this to me. I can't believe you're choosing him over me. All these things he was saying just with that facial expression, just with that look he was giving Randy Orton, it was incredible. And the way he just walked out of the ring and then just left the chaos in that moment, I thought was very, very well done. The arena was silenced. It was a moment, and it was all Kevin Owens. He was brilliant there. That was pretty good, man. That was some good acting there from Kevin Owens. Solid. You felt it. I felt bad for Kevin. I was like, oh no, your friend turned on you. And Kevin's right. Like, you got these heels, on Raw and on SmackDown with Xavier Woods and Kevin Owens, who are supposed to be wrong, but you look at them and you go, yeah, I think you're right. You have a very strong point, and I agree with you, and I'm supporting you. Like, Kevin Owens being mad that Cody, first of all, kind of pushed him into that match was very rude. The way all that went down, which we've covered. The match against Cody, right?
Right.
Kind of bullied him into the match, and it was just weird, Hey, we're such good friends that I'm going to beat you in a wrestling match and embarrass you and give you a taste of the title, but, And, Kevin didn't attack Cody's injury, and, Cody claimed he didn't have an injury, and I don't know, Cody's kind of playing games with Kevin. And then Cody turns around and teams with Roman Reigns, the guy that, screwed Kevin out of so many matches and championship opportunities, and Cody's just all buddy-buddy with him all of a sudden. You understand why the Kevin Owens character is upset. You understand why he might have snapped and attacked Cody. And you understand why he might be upset that Randy has chosen Cody over him. And then later on in the show in the parking lot, we see Kevin Owens again. This time he's beating up Randy Orton, telling him, you chose the wrong side. You're picking sides now. You chose the wrong side. Kicking him as security shows up and chased Kevin off again into the night.
You're missing a spot, though, where Randy told Cody to leave and, he'll take care of it.
Yeah, Randy told Cody to leave on his bus and to calm down because he'll go and talk to Kevin and it'll all be fine. And then next time we see Randy, he's getting beat up by Kevin.
Randy promised, so he didn't really live up to
He
that
did
promise.
leave, so he wasn't there to help Randy, right?
Yeah.
Right. That explains why that happened. And also why Cody didn't come help Roman at the end of the show when Roman and Jimmy Uso were getting beat up by the Bloodline, right?
Well, also, I think because he's not going to be involved in that, though. At least what I think is going to happen. I think they're just going to have this just be Bloodline versus Bloodline, which I think would be great.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting at Survivor Series what they do. I think they're going to do Bloodline versus Bloodline in War Games.
Yeah.
And they could put a pretty interesting match together. I mean, that was a development on SmackDown tonight. The Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes stuff was interesting, with Randy Orton getting involved and now how he plays into everything. I like the Kevin character, and I know him and Cody now have a match coming. It's not going to be a crown jewel because Cody's going to wrestle Gunther a crown jewel. I think Kevin may cost Cody the match at crown jewel. Somebody's got to win, Gunther or Cody. You don't want anybody to look weak, but if Kevin interferes and, attacks Cody or whatever, helps Gunther win, then Cody doesn't really look weak in losing to Gunther. Cody stays strong. Gunther gets the win. Bigger win for Gunther than it would be for Cody, I think, at this stage. Cody a bit more established.
That's the main thing.
Yeah. Establish Gunther, give him the win, but don't really give him the win. Have Kevin interfere.
Exactly.
I think that's the move, right?
That or have Goldberg come out. And you can always do that.
Oh, God. But that would cost Gunther the match, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but he could mess up.
Goldberg screws up the interference, Raquel Rodriguez style.
Yep.
What happened
we could
there?
talk about. Okay, that whole finish, so many mistakes.
What happened? How did that
effect.
botch? Did they really not intend on doing a DQ finish?
So, and I watched this a couple of times, and I'm almost positive this is what happened. Dom is supposed to get caught up, right? He's tied up, whatever, because he's not supposed to fall to his death. That's not what's supposed to happen. He's supposed to get caught.
Yeah.
He's hanging there, right? And this is so stupid. The whole Rhea thing, tells the referee, I'm going to go beat him up on the outside. And the referee says it on camera.
Okay.
Yeah, fine, go do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to punch him in the face. So mad about that. But she, does the whole thing with the kendo stick, gets it, beats him up. And the thing was, then I think that's when Raquel came out, right, and hit him from behind. The ref wasn't supposed to see that because the ref comes charging towards her, Taria to stop, right?
Yeah.
And she wasn't supposed to see that Raquel, I think, maybe came a bit early and bam, hits her. And you see the referee right away when it happens, turns around on camera.
Yeah.
Turns around. And then when they walk by, turns around again to try to be like, oh, I didn't see anything. But we saw it all on camera that happened. And I think someone probably backstage said, we got to ring the bell because this looks bad. So they weren't supposed to be a DQ, I think.
It was a disaster.
It was a horrible disaster. One of the worst finishes I've ever seen. Terrible.
Well, we saw Raquel again tonight, didn't we?
Yeah.
Raquel.
Well, again, screw the draft. Who cares?
Well, I
Doesn't
mean,
matter.
they're gearing up for an inter-promotional pay-per-view type of thing, right? The Raw versus SmackDown, so it makes sense. Cody was on Raw. Liv Morgan's on SmackDown.
Rhea can show up? I don't mind Rhea showing up, but
yeah, that was weird.
Just anybody.
But I tell you, I was watching SmackDown with my son, and that was the only thing that got him to go, to pop. He was like, whoa, yeah, I get it. He was excited that Rhea came out. He wasn't expecting it, and Rhea came out and started beating up Liv Morgan, and he was excited. He liked it.
I
liked
get
it.
I mean, it was
moment.
the big pop. But the problem is that Rhea's not the champion of any brand, and she just dominated both champions.
Yeah.
I mean, just booted Nia right out of the ring right away.
Right out of the ring. Yeah.
And it's like, wow, and beats down the other these are both the champions, and Rhea's above both of them already.
Mm-hmm.
It looked bad. And that happened to Jade, too, by the way. You saw Jade got, knocked out of the ring by one of I think it was the Last Legend.
Yeah.
And, boom, she's out, gone, and for half the match. And it's I don't understand the way they book stuff sometimes. Maybe they don't think about it. We'll just do this spot, whatever. But, if you're a champion on a brand, you got to look like a champion there. And, you just get walked over. It's you're not a very credible champion.
I don't disagree. Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns cut a promo this week, opening up SmackDown, talking about Jimmy says, he wants revenge on Solo. Solo put him out of action for 6 months, his little brother, and now he wants to get revenge and kick his ass. And then Roman comes out, and he's like, I don't know about all this brotherly revenge stuff. I don't really get it. We were on top. We're going to be on top again. We're the best. We're the ones. And Jimmy's like, I mean, we're not really. Look around. The Empire has kind of fallen. These guys are whooping everybody's ass. Wake up and smell the coffee here, Roman Reigns. Do you see what's going on? You know what I mean? Jimmy's kind of delivering truth to Roman. Roman's like, huh? I remember a time when if Jimmy would have spoken to Roman like that, he would have gotten beaten up severely. But, Roman doesn't have goons to do that for him anymore.
Well, I thought Roman was going to beat the crap out of him when he asked for the mic. And they said he gave him the low five. They were getting nicer to each other. But the crowd was also on Jimmy's butt a bit, too, because they said, we're not the ones anymore. And the crowd was like, yes, you are. That actually got a strong chant. And Jimmy had to talk back to the fans.
Yeah,
that was a cool moment. That was great because it's been a while since we've had that. Just Roman and Jimmy, the old bloodline in the ring, having the moment. It felt good again to watch SmackDown. That's the way SmackDown would start usually.
It was nice to see them together. They seem to be missing some people though, and I think what?
Yes, of course. I mean, you're going to mention it.
Solo Sikoa, Jimmy Uso was the main event. Solo beating Jimmy after Jimmy went to the top rope. Tama Tonga distracted the referee while Jacob Fatu pushed Jimmy off the top rope. Jimmy crouches down on the top, hurts himself, and then Solo hits the Samoan Spike 1, 2, 3, pins his older brother Jimmy Uso. And then Tama and Tangaloa attack Jimmy after the match. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, comes out. He attacks everybody, hits a Superman punch on Jacob Fatu. Tosses Tama Tonga out of the ring. Superman punch on Tonga Loa. Here comes Tama Tonga. He wants a Superman punch. He ate one. And then Roman and Solo go toe-to-toe, punching each other in the face. Jacob Fatu, though, he came back after the Superman punch, attacks Roman from behind, hits the running butt move on the Tribal Chief, and then Jimmy shows up trying to save his cousin Roman, but eats a super kick from Fatu and a moonsault. And then all the goons holding on to Roman Reigns as Solo hits him with the Samoan spike. They walk off in celebration. Jimmy tends to his hurting cousin and tells him, "We need help. We need help, Oos. We need help." And who do you turn to when you need help? You turn to family. You turn to blood. You turn to the clique. No, wait. You turn to family. You turn to maybe Jey Uso, the Intercontinental Champion, I think. I think we're going to see a Bloodline versus Bloodline match at the, War Games Survivor Series. My only question is it 4-on-4 or 5-on-5? Because if it's 4-on-4, I think we have a very cool team. You got Roman, Jimmy, Jay, and Sammy all together versus, Solo. Oh, there are only 4 of those guys, right? Solo, Jacob, Tama, and Tonga.
Yeah.
Oh, it's 4-on-4. Yeah. So do that. That'd be cool as hell, no?
I completely agree. I think that's exactly what they should do.
Bring the old bloodline back together for one night only for War Games. Jay and Sammy are on Raw. I think you keep them there. You may have them kind of cross over to Raw and SmackDown, in the build-up for the match, John. I hope you can handle it. But
wild card.
Yeah. But I think, in the end, you're going to get a pretty cool match where you have the old bloodline, original bloodline, Roman, Sammy, and the Usos. The Usos back together, too, would be cool. Versus the new ones, the Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu, and, of course, Solo Sikoa. And, what better time than Survivor Series War Games where you bring back the original bloodline, then that would be the time also to bring back the wise man, Paul Heyman. I think he comes back at Survivor Series 2, maybe as a surprise with Roman. I think that would be pretty nice. I'm waiting to see when Heyman will resurface. I expect him to rejoin Roman at some point, and I think Survivor Series would be the perfect time to rejoin the old bloodline, to be outside the cage for War Games.
I mean, it's going to come up. It's going to happen. Just they're waiting for the right moment, the right time, So, I mean, they have a big thing next week, so it's not going to be next week, but another week could happen. Did you catch, who was it? Was it Tonga Loa or Tama Tonga who did the old elbows? Like, they just elbow shots right to, the ring mat instead of the actual, the Jimmy. Did you notice that at the end of the show?
I didn't know.
Oh, they're pretty bad. I think it was probably Tonga Loa, I think. He's done that a couple of times.
I think The Rock is going to help the new bloodline win.
Sure, that could happen. I mean, they don't need to win the match. It's just who wins the war kind of thing, right? Like, who's left standing?
Yeah.
It wasn't about who won at the end of last year. It was about, CM Punk showed up, It took away from everything. So, it's all about who's standing at the end.
The Rock.
That's the main thing. So, I mean, whoever wins or loses doesn't really matter. It's just as long as The Rock's standing tall.
Yeah, which I think he will be. And Nia Jax and Tiffy Time cut an in-ring promo that I thought was interesting. Nia talking about beating Bayley at Bad Blood and how she's going to annihilate Liv Morgan at Crown Jewel. And then Nia grabbed Tiffany in this really stiff headlock.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
What was that about? What was that headlock? It was, unnecessarily rough.
I think she was just mad because of all the what chants during the promo.
Yeah, but don't take it out on Tiffy Time, okay? Watch her neck. That's Tiffy Time we're talking about.
She has some extra aggression. Did you catch on
Rude.
commentary when Naomi came out? They're like, I'm not looking forward to that match whatsoever, though. Like, oof, that's going to be rough.
Yeah, Nia, Liv Morgan, that'll be terrible. That will be terrible. Anyways, that's the plan, though. I think it'll be interesting to see what Tiffany actually does.
I think she'll mess up. I think she'll try to do it, but someone will get messed up. I mean, the problem is trying to cash in on Liv is terrible right now. She's got too much backup. So I think that's going to screw up Tiffy.
I think you're right. Naomi showed up. She, started talking to Nia, said she wanted a match, and Nia agreed. And then Liv Morgan showed up out of nowhere with Dominic Mysterio and Raquel Rodriguez. And Liv's like, oh, I'm going to beat you at Crown Jewel, and now I'm going to go to ringside and watch you lose just like you're going to lose to me. And then Naomi did beat Nia Jax after Liv hit Nia with the Money in the Bank briefcase while the referee was distracted by Raquel Rodriguez. So Naomi with a top rope powerbomb right after Liv Morgan used a weapon on Nia after some shenanigans outside the ring with Tiffy and Raquel. And then Rhea Ripley showed up out of nowhere. She attacks Raquel Rodriguez after the match on the ramp, and then Liv Morgan ran right into the ring where she was grabbed by Nia Jax, and instead of Rhea deciding to attack Liv Morgan, she inexplicably kicks Nia Jax and knocks her out of the ring on her ass, and then goes to attack Liv, but Dominic pulled Liv out of the ring to safety, and Rhea just kind of stood tall there. It was weird that she chose to kick Nia Jax, but she did and knocked her right out of the ring. Why not attack Liv? If Nia hates Liv and you hate Liv, isn't the enemy of your enemy your friend?
No, it's called Rhea just destroys everyone, and that's
Stone
exactly
Cold
what she
Rhea.
did. That's exactly what it was. Because she's just better than everybody. I mean, it's obvious. It's what she is.
I mean, she kind of is.
Problem is with that
It's
is
not
there's nobody.
It's not
close.
just that she's booked better than everybody, John. She is better than everybody too, right? She's
Right,
very
but
good.
I mean, there's no competition. That's the problem, though. I mean, if you can
Yeah.
destroy both the champions, who else is there?
Well, I think what they're telling us is, Liv Morgan may be the champion on Raw, but we all know Rhea Ripley could kick her ass and would take the belt if given the opportunity under the right circumstances without getting screwed by all this outside interference. And I think they're also trying to tell us, also Rhea Ripley is stronger than Nia Jax because Rhea Ripley is the top women's wrestler in the WWE, whether she's a champion or not. And I think sending that message is the right message to send because she is, and that's fine. She isn't the champion, but I think the audience should still look at her as stronger than Nia or Liv Morgan because she should be. She's better. She's incredible. She's a generational talent. Nia and Liv Morgan are just, pretty good. Rhea Ripley is a future Hall of Famer, incredible, a living legend at this point.
Well, when it comes to WrestleMania, I feel like the only competition right now, if we're not counting Charlotte, I think it would be Bianca, I think. There's nobody else.
No. I think you could bring Becky back.
It's been done, though.
Yeah, but as a rematch with a return, I think you're right. Bianca would be the big one for Rhea. But I don't think we've really done a Rhea-Asuka proper feud. And Asuka, under the right circumstances, when she comes back, could be something.
They had a WrestleMania match. It's
really?
been done. Yeah, they did. It kind of goes to show you, it wasn't anything that spectacular.
I don't remember that at all. That's weird.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, they could
it
do
happened.
it again because Asuka's been gone for so long, a slight repackage, and you could do something with Asuka. But I think you're right, though. Bianca is the top opponent you could do for Rhea. They've been teasing it for a while, and they haven't really gone there.
It's just it's tough when you're that good and there's nobody else to touch you in a sense. And now you have to deal with two champions that you could just destroy easily, but You can't win those titles.
I think Tiffy Time is going to get there pretty soon.
I feel like they got to do the cash in on. She's got to turn on Nia. I think that's what has to happen.
Yeah. I think she will turn on Nia. I'm just saying down the road, Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley could be a very big match.
I hope so. I mean, we're still early, but hopefully.
Have we seen Bayley go up against Rhea in anything significant?
I don't remember Pam against Rhea.
Me neither. You could do that.
I mean, so they may have had a match, but not like a big, like big pay-per-view. At least, remember, not a big PLE kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, Johnny, I think we've done it.
Oh, we're not going to talk about the whole NXT conspiracy stuff? That's too bad.
What the fuck are you even talking about?
You didn't see that? I forget the name of the women's wrestler in NXT that said, the weather in Florida was all caused by, the government or something. You didn't see that?
No.
Oh, yeah. Apparently only, the red states were affected and all this. You didn't see that?
They did bad weather?
Yeah, by the bad weather.
This is a woman who wrestles for NXT?
Danny Palmer or something like that? Yeah.
I mean, I've never heard of her, John. Why the hell, honestly, man, why the hell would I even bother wasting breath talking about an unknown jabroni from NXT and their crackpot ideas about who controls the weather? If you have crazy ideas, if you think human beings can literally push a button and control weather or do whatever to control weather and cause hurricanes, if that is your actual belief, I don't have time for anything you have to say ever. If you are a person that believes weather can be controlled by humans, I think everything you ever say is clouded by idiocy. And clouds are something that you also don't fucking understand. So I don't give a shit, John, about some dumbass person in NXT who thinks people control the weather. That's just stupid. Why would I talk? Come on, man. No. Can I wrap up the show now? Fuck. What are you doing to me?
You definitely can. That was beautiful, to be honest.
What an idiot. If you think these types of things, I mean, you shouldn't be allowed to think. You should have your internet access revoked, at least. You should be banned from the internet because it's clouded your mind. It's muddied your waters. It's confused you. Some people shouldn't be on the internet because they're too stupid to differentiate real information to fake bullshit that people are sending your way because, you're going to fall for it because you're gullible. A lot of gullible fucks out there who shouldn't be allowed to have the internet. Honestly. Get people off the internet. It'll help them so much. People believe the craziest shit. And I talk to people and I go, what? None of this is real, what you're saying. Fact checking. Fucking, it's just crazy, man. So, yeah. I don't know. And if somebody goes to me, the weather is controlled by the government, and I go, yeah, okay, you're stupid as fuck. You're I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to go, in my head, I'm going to go, whatever this person says to me is dumb. They may know something about something, but the majority of their worldview is off. Could you imagine actually thinking people control weather? It's ridiculous. It's such a ridiculous concept that you go, okay, if you think that, what else can you be convinced of? If you'll buy that, you'll buy anything. People are so easily convinced of things. And that's the great part about so many of these fucking people, John. They go, you're all just sheep. You got the wool over your eyes. You don't really see the truth. I know the truth. And it's no, bitch. You've been confused and you've been sold some bullshit that you now believe is the truth. And now you're telling everybody else they don't have the truth. You know what I mean? It's always those people that go, you guys don't actually know. You don't know. You can't handle it. And I go, okay, who have you been listening to? Who's been selling you lies? Let me explain to you why you're wrong in so many different ways. That's like step by step debunk your whole worldview and your fucking manifesto that you're writing. Psychopath. Fuck.
I mean, that's half your watch-alongs usually. So.
Yeah, well, I have to deal with AJ, so, what are you going to do? AJ should not be allowed on the internet. I mean, he can barely keep an internet connection, which is probably for the best.
I thought you guys had a good show last night.
Yeah, because we made him move rooms and sit right next to his modem for safety, so I think he's all right now. CSL nice. Lauren says the world is flat, and I know he doesn't believe that. I think he's just trying to mess with me. Because, if you believe the world is flat, I go, okay, what else do you believe? Let's hear the rest of your theories, because I know there are more.
Are we going down the Brian Kendrick
No, we're not.
Rabbit hole?
No, could we not? Could we just go? Thank you to all the members checking in. I'm seeing a bunch of members. Antoinette is here. Angelo Contagonis is here. CSL Lauren is here. Jason Pete is here. Shout out to all the members checking in over at join.ringsidereport.net. Join.ringsidereport.net. Thank you for supporting the Ringside Report Network. Thank you to Harold Schneider. You're the number one fan tonight. You're the number one super chatter. Thank you, Angelo, as well. Harold, member of the team. Harold Schneider. Supporting over at join.ringsidereport.net or merch.ringsidereport.net. I really hope Lauren doesn't actually believe the world is flat. I mean, if he does, I don't know. I could send him some links of some things that'll convince him otherwise, because it's just not.
Hey, AJ Styles believes it, but you still like AJ Styles.
I do like AJ Styles, but I also, when I hear AJ Styles' opinions on things other than pro wrestling, I go, okay, buddy. Because other things he believes, and then when he starts telling you the rest of it, you go, all right, well, that's also crazy. I mean, it's not like you're going to have one theory that's completely bananas, and then the rest of your theories are like totally sound and logical, If you have one bananas theory, chances are you have several bananas theories. Angelo Contagonis has been a member for 44 months, says he's going to watch Shane Pinto wrestle tomorrow at Le Studio TD. Oh, Lauren does not believe the world is flat. Thank you, Lauren, for confirming. Shane Pinto is your manager. He wrestles? I didn't know he wrestled.
Well, we actually wrestled together. We had a handicap match together one time.
Okay.
So he's getting more involved. Hopefully he doesn't get hurt. He got a little banged up, too, in our match, so hopefully he doesn't get banged up tomorrow.
All right. Well, good luck to him. And I hope you enjoy yourself, Angelo. And check in with us tomorrow night after WrestleDream. You'll probably miss the WrestleDream, so check in with us, and we'll recap the action for you, give you the score on 10, give you our match of the night, and all of that coming up tomorrow night on the Ringside Report Network. And Antoinette with a congrats, Johnny. Johnny North, new Project X Northern Heritage Wrestling Champion. Congratulations
First ever.
to Johnny.
First ever. I'm the one.
First ever. You the one. Collecting belts here on the Ringside Report Network. Belt collecting. As we do. I got one back
congrats
there.
on the purple again.
Thank you, brother. There's mine. It's cool. We get belts this week, John. Johnny gets a wrestling belt, and I get a jiu-jitsu belt. We're both ranking up. Leveling up. Feels good. Feels real good.
And we both got to get new T-shirts now for that.
Ooh, purple belt Dave T-shirt. That would be cool. Cartoon me with a purple belt. Ooh, shit. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow night here for the WrestleDream post show on the Ringside Report Network.
Thanks for sticking with us to the end. We would really appreciate it if you could help us spread the word. You know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, flip those notification switches.
We are an audience-supported network, so consider becoming a recurring supporter at membership.ringsidereport.net. Check out our website at ringsidereport.net. Hope to see you again next time, and have a good night.